Even though he didn't say a word, hugging his wife in his embrace, feeling the warmth from her body, it was almost as though the couple had telepathy, able to feel each other's thoughts. Luo Feng could feel Su Xian's longing and attachment towards him. Su Xian could feel the guilt and pain from Luo Feng's heart. Gradually, the two of them just enjoyed each other's peace and the warmth of each other's bodies. After a long while. Feng, don't make me worry anymore, do you understand? Su Xian looked up at Luo Feng, saying softly, I know you roam the universe, amidst the dangers there are many things you can't control. The path of the strong is difficult and dangerous, however, you have to try your best not to fall into danger. I understand. Luo Feng nodded, gently caressing his wife's hair. Luo family Sword Ho Emperor, what do you think? Luo family? Su Xian furrowed her brows. After the conflict between our family and the Roth family escalated, the Roth family was very polite when they first contacted us. It was said that the Swordworm King couldn't get in touch with you. Gradually, they stopped being polite and even tried to suppress our Luo family during negotiations. Ever since you became the direct disciple of the Primal Chaos City Leader, our Luo family's power has grown. When we do business with the surrounding people, it's good enough that we don't bully them. Who would dare bully us? Su Xian said. Luo Feng nodded as he listened. When doing business with the direct disciple of the Primal Chaos City Leader, those undying families, official families and emperor families usually didn't have much confidence. Normally they would rather lower their heads and take a loss than anger the Luo family. This was human nature, just like how Luo Feng felt respect and fear when he faced the Primal Chaos City Leader. Just like back when Luo Feng was still weak and met Flame Emperor for the first time, he didn't have much confidence. The logic was the same. Different strength, different position, naturally had different levels of power. Even though there are rumors of your death in Yuxiang Mountain, even though Sword Ho Emperor couldn't contact you and doubted if you had really died, it's not to the point of suppressing our Luo family during negotiations. Su Xian said, those families who dares to suppress us. Even the Ganwu Universe country's imperial family treats us as equals. Your thinking makes sense. Luo Feng nodded. Sword Ho Emperor dared to secretly allow the family to do so, even though they were still cautious, only suppressing the Luo family during negotiations. But this was already a slap to Luo Feng's face. As long as Luo Feng hasn't fallen, he should appear. He's forcing me to show myself. It's very likely that they're using this to see if I've really fallen. Luo Feng said seriously. Feng, your status is different now. Many alien race experts in the universe are staring at you, wanting to assassinate you. I feel that there is the shadow of the outsiders behind this. You have to be careful. Su Xian said. Without enough benefits, who would do something so dangerous? Luo Feng nodded. Don't worry. Within the human domain, the foreign races are nothing to worry about. And, although Su Xian was a little worried, she still nodded. Primal Chaos City Leader teacher urgently summoned me. I rushed home immediately. Now I'll go see teacher first. After that. Luo Feng laughed. Get ready, then our whole family will have a reunion dinner. And, Su Xian nodded happily. At the highest point of the virtual universe Thunderbolt Island, that palace shrouded in primal chaos energy was where the Primal Chaos City Leader resided. Whoosh. Luo Feng appeared outside the entrance of the palace, following which he took a big step in. Walking through the endless darkness, the naked eye couldn't even see the end of the palace. After a while he stopped. Teacher. Luo Feng said respectfully. A golden-robed silhouette walked out of the chaos energy. That powerful aura made Luo Feng hold his breath. However, Luo Feng's horizons were much higher now. After meeting one of the strongest warriors in the universe, Mountain Guest, he realized that the aura of the Primal Chaos City Leader teacher, even though it was stronger than his senior brother Puti, it was obviously much weaker than Mountain Guest. You're back. The Primal Chaos City Leader's gaze was like the endless starry sky. He smiled. It's good that you've returned alive. These 6,000 years, looks like it hasn't been easy for you. I've suffered a lot. Luo Feng replied. Thinking back to the life and death inheritance, he still sighed within. The Primal Chaos City Leader's eyes suddenly gleamed. He looked carefully at Luo Feng. This caused Luo Feng to be stunned. What was his teacher looking at him so carefully? This was in the virtual universe. His body was made up of illusions. If he wanted to observe him, he could only observe his consciousness. The pressure of his consciousness was very obvious. What's more, the Primal Chaos City Leader's observation abilities were extremely strong. Your willpower and consciousness was already strong. Now it's even stronger. The Primal Chaos City Leader exclaimed. And you've also gained the Space Origin Law's recognition. Luo Feng was stunned for a moment before realizing. The Space Origin Law's recognition was during the 6,000 years he was in the life and death inheritance. When the Masha clansman was able to teleport, the strong connection with the universe origin laws had made him gain the Space Origin Law's recognition. The three bodies all had a mark on their foreheads. After connecting to the virtual universe, the connection system automatically scanned them. Just like the mark on their foreheads. And it's a very high-level recognition. He should be able to teleport now. The Primal Chaos City Leader exclaimed. The Origin Law's recognition had different levels too. Like the Gold Origin Law or the Golden Blade mark on the forehead, or the Golden Mountain mark. Different marks represented different aspects of recognition. And Luo Feng's forehead now had a few more stars. It was faintly discernible. This was one of the three highest forms of recognition from the Space Origin Laws, teleportation. How's your Origin Law comprehension? The Primal Chaos City Leader asked. I estimate it's comparable to the Heavenly Bridge's 20th level. Luo Feng said respectfully. In terms of battle strength, his origin law comprehension was indeed at the Heavenly Bridge's 20th level. The main thing he relied on was the beast god conception. As for things like the 7 divine transformations and space laws, there was obviously still a huge gap from the beast god conception. 20th level? The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng with approval. Your improvement is huge. Compared to the pinnacle geniuses in human history, Kudi and Shihua etc., you're not far off. I relied on some luck. Luo Feng said. Luck and encounters are also part of one's strength. The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. You've disappeared for over 6,000 years. There have long been rumors of your death. Is your family in trouble? Some small problems. Luo Feng said. Your disciple can deal with them. In the human race, one's position is important. However, one's strength is even more important. Even though you're my direct disciple, if your strength keeps improving slowly, you won't be able to match up to your status. Then others will look down on you. The Primal Chaos City Leader said. In these 6,000 years, you haven't revealed a single bit of strength that matches your status. Find some time and attempt the Sector Lord level Heavenly Mountain. If you succeed, your name will naturally rise. Those punks won't dare to mess around. If they do, they'll suspect, if they're colluding with the other races and betraying the human race. Attempt the Heavenly Mountain? His teacher was naturally referring to the Primal Heavenly Mountain. One had to reach level 20 in Origin Law Comprehension to have a chance to attempt it. Throughout history, those who could pass this level were all geniuses at the pinnacle of humanity. Only by passing the Sector Lord level Primal Heavenly Mountain would one have the right to truly compare with Kudi and Shihua etc. geniuses in history. Yes. Luo Feng replied. When you have to keep a low profile, keep a low profile. The Primal Chaos City Leader said. Like your identity as Blade River Emperor, you have to be completely separate from LuoFeng's identity. You can make an Emperor-level warrior your slave. If the other races know you've done it, they'll definitely pay a huge price to assassinate you. Understood. Luo Feng nodded. The fact that the Blade River Emperor had a Heavy Arrow Emperor as a slave had long spread. The Primal Chaos City Leader teacher naturally knew about this. I've already specially forged the identity of a Blade River Emperor. From when I was young all the way to becoming an Emperor Undying, everything has been checked in detail. There are no flaws at all. The Primal Chaos City Leader said. And after you pass the Sector Lord level Primal Heavenly Mountain, I'll arrange for the Great Alliance to invite you to join. When that time comes, you'll join as Luo Feng. You alone, you'll take up 2 spots. Thank you, teacher. Luo Feng said gratefully. Can you tell me, how did you use the Flame God race armor and how did you kill those emperors? The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng. His questions were gentle. Because their long lifespans had made these absolute beings very clear on the special inheritances and treasures that geniuses usually didn't want to reveal. Everyone had their own selfish motives. It was because of this that they would work hard to strengthen themselves, work hard to protect their loved ones, work hard to protect their race. These absolute beings were very clear too. These matters couldn't be forced to ask, otherwise it would only incur the wrath of the geniuses. The more talented a person was, the more arrogant he was. Your disciple will naturally be able to use the armor. Luo Feng said. Naturally? The Primal Chaos City Leader immediately understood. Flame God race, human of Earth. As for being able to kill the emperors, firstly it's because of the armor, secondly it's because of the Wu Yu Yi, and thirdly the Fei Mo poison. Luo Feng said respectfully. Back then when your disciple first entered the outer region battlefield, I used the armor. Later on in the Yanji continent, due to my breakthrough in physical strength, I was able to barely use the armor. Luo Feng said respectfully. Actually, the Primal Chaos City Leader could clearly see through the army's video feed that Luo Feng started off as a black armor, and later as a silver wing. That was after he acquired the second black metal board on the Yanji continent. The reason why I'm able to unleash a large portion of the armor's power is because, on the Yanji continent, I successfully absorbed the Blood River Crystal and became a black warrior. Luo Feng said respectfully. His secret trump card should be hidden, but some should be revealed too. Anyway, he couldn't hide it for long. Black warrior? The Primal Chaos City Leader's eyes were filled with shock, following which he looked excitedly at Luo Feng. Even in Blood River continent, the black warrior had become a legend, much less amongst the human race. Luo Feng still hadn't realized the importance of the black warrior, but what kind of position was the Primal Chaos City Leader? He was very clear on what the black warrior represented. Good. The Primal Chaos City Leader said 3 good words consecutively. His attitude towards Luo Feng had obviously risen. The greater one's potential, the more the Primal Chaos City Leader would value them. Everything was from the perspective of the race. The Primal Chaos City Leader was like that. Luo Feng was shocked within. He had met his Primal Chaos City teacher many times, he could clearly feel how strict the Primal Chaos City Leader was. LuoFeng's usual performance to Luo Feng was exceptional enough. However, the Primal Chaos City Leader was always calm and normal, rarely praising Luo Feng. His creation of the Bright Moon strategy had been praised before, however it had never been as exaggerated as this, praising him 3 times in a row. For the Primal Chaos City Leader to say 3 times in a row, that was definitely not normal. I'll just say I've become a black warrior. Luo Feng thought within, black warrior, my body's genetic energy will instantly increase by 10 times, allowing me to be 10 times stronger than other warriors at the starting line. It's very special, however it's not to the point where the Primal Chaos City Leader teacher would say 3 times in a row. And the Primal Chaos City Leader teacher. Everything is from the perspective of the race, don't tell me there's something special about the Black Warrior? Luo Feng. The Primal Chaos City Leader smiled. Teacher. Luo Feng listened respectfully. The matter of you becoming a Black Warrior, don't spread it for now, ha. Our human race hasn't had a Black Warrior in a very long time. The Primal Chaos City Leader praised, your talent in the Beast God path is extremely high, and you're a Black Warrior too. It's a perfect match. Your origin law comprehension is so high now, you should be able to break through to undying at any time. When are you preparing to break through? Your disciple wants to head to the universe secret region for a bit, it won't be too late to break through then. Luo Feng said respectfully. In the plan he still had to get the 3rd black metal board. As for breaking through to undying, the Beast God's conception was already comparable to the Heavenly Bridge's 20th level. Once it reached a higher level, that gold law, as long as Luo Feng wanted to break through, he would be able to instantly take the final step and comprehend the entire gold law. When that time comes he would be able to break through to undying. Even if the golden horned beast had a hard time becoming undying, the Heavenly Bridge's 20th level's conception comprehension, breaking through the shackles of the core, wouldn't be a problem for Luo Feng. However, did Luo Feng dare? He didn't dare. Because he still had to find his 3rd body. After all, the moment he stepped into undying and broke through the core, the internal world would become a god country. When that time came he wouldn't be able to nurture the 3rd body. To the universe secret region? The Primal Chaos City Leader frowned. Could he had fallen in the universe secret region? The dangers in the extraterritorial battlefield were controllable. The dangers within the universe secret realms were uncontrollable. There were countless universe secret realms where even universe supremacies could fall. For example, Hiroto had lost contact with him in one of these secret realms, causing the entire Golden Horn race to decline and have no choice but to seek the protection of humans. Right now, your comprehension of the principles is extremely high. If you can break through to the immortal realm, just do it. The Primal Chaos City Master said, after becoming an undying, your strength will be much stronger, your survivability will also be much higher. At that time, it won't be too late to enter the universe secret region. Your disciple is still looking for a 3rd body. Luo Feng said respectfully. Oh. The Primal Chaos City Leader glanced at Luo Feng. He had long known about Luo Feng's possession of the Golden Horned Beast. The Golden Horned Beast had 3 slots, the higher-ranked warriors all knew about it. In the treasury in the Great Alliance, there are also some remains of special life forms. The Primal Chaos City Master said. Disciple needs Sector Lord remains, and the Virtual Universe Company Treasury and Great Alliance's shops all have special life form remains. However, most of them are at the undying level. Luo Feng said respectfully, as for Sector Lord remains, there are very few of them. After all, the special life forms are all born with innate intelligence and intelligence. They know that there are many who wish to possess them. Hence when they are weak, very few leave the secret regions. And it's very easy for special life forms to become undying. Sector Lord remains are already very rare, preserved remains are even rarer. The higher the bloodline, the harder it was to become an undying. However, special life forms were different. Special life forms were even more noble, even more heavenly, however they didn't have the right to be considered a race. Their numbers were very rare. The same special life form would at least have one in the entire universe over countless years. At most, there would be tens, hundreds, thousands. Even if there were thousands, it was still very rare. Like the Golden Horned Beast, it was famed for its rarity. However, in the vast universe, the total amount of each generation was still quite a lot. And it was passed down from generation to generation, countless years to countless generations. The number of undying level Golden Horned Beasts that were produced was a large amount. As long as they could be passed down with enough time, naturally more warriors would be born. Special life forms were very rare. It was very easy for them to break through to undying. Even very few were born undying. Like the beast gods, they were born with universe lord battle strength. As they were too few in number and had no ability to reproduce, the universe laws gave the special life forms even more benefits on the path of training. They were born special. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. Sector Lord level special life forms, almost all hide in the universe secret regions and never come out. To capture them is extremely difficult. You only need to gather feathers or scales to nurture your body. You can give it a try. Your disciple thinks so too. Even if I can't capture them, getting some fur is still easy. Luo Feng said respectfully. Remember, act within your abilities. The Primal Chaos City Leader ordered. Yes. Luo Feng said respectfully. Go. The Primal Chaos City Leader turned and entered the endless energy currents. Luo Feng bowed respectfully before leaving. Thunder Island, outside True Yen Emperor's palace. Luo Feng was carrying 2 boxes of precious fruit wine and appeared outside the palace, heading in. Teacher. Luo Feng shouted loudly from outside. Still not coming in. True Yan's laughter resounded. Luo Feng entered the palace. The people he met were mostly True Yan's disciples. These disciples, regardless of age, regardless of when they became True Yan's disciples, all called Luo Feng Sr. The palace was huge. After walking for a while, Luo Feng arrived at a waterfront pavilion. Within the waterfront pavilion, True Yen sat there looking at the endless waves outside Thunder Island. In the distance he could see the lightning revolving around the island. Tru Yen sniffed, his eyes gleaming as he looked at the 2 boxes Luo Feng was carrying. Eternal Spirit Fountain Water, 9-peak Purple Fruit Dew? Back then when teacher sent your disciple out of Primal Chaos City, you told me to bring the wine. Luo Feng smiled, your disciple is about to leave the foreign battlefield. Even though I haven't had the time to return to Primal Chaos City, I'll give you some in the virtual universe. Anyway, the wine in the virtual universe is much cheaper than in reality. I've accepted a good disciple. These 2 boxes should be about 3 million mixed elements. Tru Yen immediately received them, each taking out a bottle of Eternal Spirit Fountain Water and 9-peak Purple Fruit Dew. In reality it would cost about 300 million. Even for me, I've only drunk Eternal Spirit Fountain Water once in Primal Chaos City. Even though I don't lack that bit of money, it still hurts. Luo Feng laughed too. He was willing to do it for his teacher. Even if he bought it himself, he couldn't bear to part with it. Even if he bought it in the virtual universe, it would cost over 3 million mixed elements. This was enough to buy a few starfields. Come, let's drink. The wine had already been poured. The teacher and disciple drank and chatted. Teacher, I've acquired a treasure in the foreign battlefield. Luo Feng said. Treasure? Tru Yen was shocked. This treasure is a purple clock. Luo Feng began to describe in detail the powers of the clock and the requirements to activate it. Teacher, I already have the Primal Chaos City Leader teacher's treasure to protect me. I don't lack this one, I wonder if teacher needs it. Haha, you finally remembered your teacher. Tru Yen laughed, he was very happy. However, from his point of view, Luo Feng had suffered quite a bit in the foreign battlefields. This purple clock was probably his spoils of war. Such a treasure. Its value was immeasurable. Just looking at the countless massacres caused by the Sealing Star, one could tell how valuable it was. With Tru Yan's personality, how could he easily accept such a valuable treasure from his disciple? Don't worry. I, your teacher, am famous outside. Tru Yan raised his wine cup and said directly, to be able to make such a name for oneself, who doesn't have a few treasures? Without treasures to protect oneself, how can one be called an invincible emperor? Luo Feng was stunned. Oh, Life Destruction Emperor, 7 Blade Emperors, Tower Dragon Emperor. All of them had treasures on them. His teacher Tru Yan had lived for 1 trillion years and his strength was much stronger than them. He could even compare to normal universe knights. How could he not have a few treasures? This purple clock doesn't suit my training path. It's useless to me. Tru Yan shook his head. You should keep it for now. Oh. Luo Feng nodded. Even though Tru Yan rejected the treasure, the ape's smile widened. A disciple was willing to give such a treasure to his teacher. How could he not respect his teacher? After all, after Luo Feng had the Primal Chaos City Leader as his teacher, there was no need to please Tru Yan. One could only say that Luo Feng was sincere. Have you returned home? Tru Yan asked. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. Your family is anxious? Tru Yan laughed. Before, Su Xan had begged him, so he immediately went to find the Primal Chaos City Leader. Yes. Luo Feng exclaimed. However, it's all right now. Speaking of which, when I returned, I actually met the Ross family of the Sword Turtle Emperor. Sword Turtle Emperor, which punk? Tru Yan frowned. The one who just became emperor not long ago. Luo Feng said. Oh, I remember. His luck isn't bad. He became the disciple of Jin Lan Knight. Tru Yan shook his head. Jin Lan Knight, amongst the many knights of the universe, his strength is considered average. However, he has many disciples. Even someone like Sword Turtle Emperor is under him. That Sword Turtle Emperor dares to find trouble with your family? Tru Yan was shocked. Who does he have to be so daring? Even his teacher Jin Lan Knight would be courteous to you. He wouldn't easily offend you. You are after all the direct disciple of the Primal Chaos City Leader. Even if the city leader doesn't help you, just your seniors, any one of them would be enough to intimidate Jin Lan Knight. Right, I'm puzzled too. Luo Feng shook his head. The direct disciples of the Primal Chaos City Leader were mostly Universe Knights. Gui Knight, Golden Axe Knight, etc. It's definitely because of your disappearance or even the rumors of your death. Investigate. Tru Yan's eyes were filled with killing intent. I have to investigate. And I have to deal a heavy blow. If necessary, I have to make an example out of him. With the rumors of my death, they've begun to probe. Luo Feng exclaimed, this is what happens when you leave. Your family is relying on you alone to support it. The moment you fall, your family's strength will naturally decline greatly. Tru Yan lifted his wine glass and drank, shaking his head and sighing, my Kahan clan is relying on me to support it too. Even if I'm still alive because I don't really interfere with the Ape Man clan's matters, my clan will still be bullied. If I don't teach those bastards a lesson, they'll think they're lucky and bully you instead. Luo Feng nodded. The Primal Chaos City Leader teacher also said that after this, he wants me to challenge the Sector Lord level Primal Sky Mountain and display my strength, shocking the other warriors. The Primal Chaos City Leader's words make sense. Tru Yan nodded, after which he said excitedly, you can challenge the Sector Lord level Primal Sky Mountain? More or less. Luo Feng nodded. That requires one's origin law comprehension to reach level 20. Tru Yan said. Luo Feng smiled mischievously. Haha, good punk. Tru Yan couldn't help but say, you've only trained for how long and you've already caught up to your 3rd senior. A genius. Luo Feng laughed shamelessly. Haha, when we reach Primal Chaos City, you have to buy me some good wine. Tru Yan said. Of course. Luo Feng said straightforwardly. Challenging the Sky Mountain is worth 100 billion points, you can eat and drink, it's nothing to you. Tru Yen laughed loudly. Even though he was drinking and laughing with his teacher, Luo Feng was thinking about the Sword Turtle Emperor, thinking of how to deal with it. As for challenging the Sky Mountain, Luo Feng wasn't in a rush. Once he settled the matters in the alien battlefield, it wouldn't be too late to challenge it. As for Sword Turtle Emperor, he had to deal with it quickly. Although the King of Sword Mantis had restrained himself this time and did not kill anyone, this was a beginning of someone daring to bully the Luo family. As long as there were any signs of this, he had to eliminate them to let the other families know. The consequences of messing with the Luo family were severe. Luo Feng drank and chatted happily with his teacher. His strength and position were close, he could be this casual. And with the Primal Chaos City Leader and Mountain Guest, Luo Feng couldn't even talk like that. And the Primal Chaos City Leader, or one of the strongest warriors in the universe, Mountain Guest, couldn't possibly be like Luo Feng. Luo Feng, there's mail. Babata reminded him from his shoulder, it's from the Sword Puppet Emperor. Finally, male Luo Feng's gaze froze. His son Luo Ping and his wife Su Xin had both said that King Swordplay had contacted him, but he had never received any mail from King Swordplay. Luo Feng lightly tapped on the screen and a mail appeared. Tru Yen, who was holding a cup of wine, asked, "What did the King of Swordworms say?" He said. Luo Feng smiled, "Personally visit me at the 9-Star Bay government office to beg for forgiveness." He seems to be quite humble. Tru Yen sneered. It seems that he also knows that this concerns his life. In the foreign battlefields, it was forbidden for soldiers of the same faction to kill each other, but within the human race, there was no such thing as a military system. It was common for human experts to kill each other, and the upper echelons of the human race rarely intervened. The attitude of the human higher-ups was very simple. Fighting and killing among themselves was fine, but if the outsiders were to sneak in and kill humans, that would be a disaster. As for the human warriors going to the foreign battlefields to fight against the outsiders, they too had to be united. Just showing off is useless. Luo Feng raised his cup. "Teacher, I'll accompany you to finish this bottle of wine, it won't be too late to meet that King Swordplay." Let's hang him out first. Tru Yen too raised his cup. Clinking cups, the teacher and disciple discussed many things. After a while the bottle was finished, Luo Feng left. Virtual Universe Black Dragon Mountain Island, 9-Star Bay. The family leader has something to do and isn't here. King Swordplay, you can come again next time. Or wait here. No rush, I'll wait. Then I'll be leaving. Within the Luo family residence, in one of the pavilions for guests to rest, a huge man at least 8 m tall, dressed in golden shining armor with an elephant trunk sat there. The Luo family welcomed guests of different levels. This pavilion was just a place for guests to rest. Letting an emperor-level undying stay here was considered an insult. Looks like this Luo Feng has a huge grudge against me. King Swordplay's elephant trunk sniffed, his eyes filled with worry. Without his secret orders, would the normal people of the Luo family dare to treat an undying this way? What's more, I'm an emperor-level undying. No one welcomed me, just a servant leading me here. One look and you can tell it's a normal place, even the tea is cold. Wait. Just wait for Luo Feng to appear. King Swordplay actually lifted the already cold tea, leisurely drinking it, almost as though he didn't feel embarrassed at all. And in 9-Star Bay Luo family, the upper echelon of the Luo family gathered. King Swordplay is here? He's been arranged to stay in a tea pavilion? Gong Xenlon couldn't help but worry, that's after all an emperor-level undying, we can't just ignore him like that. Mother. Su Xen smiled, no problem, this is Luo Feng's orders. I don't really understand. Gong Xenlon nodded, sighing, I just feel that an emperor-level undying is a huge figure. Our Ganwu universe country, the country leader doesn't even have an emperor-level undying under him. King Swordplay has been arranged to stay in a tea pavilion, and there's actually no commotion at all. Luo Ping smiled. Because. A voice resounded, a person walked in from outside, it was Luo Feng, he doesn't want to die. Dad. Luo Ping and Luo Hai stood up. You're back. Su Xian walked over too. Big brother. Luo Hua smiled and shouted. Luo Feng nodded, looking at his parents, Dad, Mom? It's good that you're back, it's good that you're back. Luo Honghua and Gong Xianlon nodded. I'll go deal with that King Swordplay, we'll have a family reunion dinner later. Luo Feng said after his lifespan grew, back on Earth China's Mid-Autumn Festival became less and less important, because Luo Feng would train for years and decades, even exceeding 6,000 years this time, hence Luo Feng's return was the Luo family's reunion dinner. Go. His family said, after all against an emperor-level undying, just that formless pressure alone made these normal people, undying level and below, unless one had a heaven-defying willpower and consciousness, otherwise before an emperor-level undying, they were indeed just normal people, feel a sense of submission. As for Luo Feng, his willpower surpassed many knights of the universe, he was the leader of Earth's bloodline that had survived through life and death. In the tea pavilion, the scenery wasn't good, the wind blew, the tea was cold, there were no servants. King Swordplay just sat there waiting patiently. At this time, a silhouette walked over from the distance. This made King Swordplay look up. With one look he immediately smiled and stood up, standing at the entrance of the pavilion to welcome Luo Feng. As Luo Feng neared, King Swordplay immediately bowed. Your Majesty Luo Feng, this was indeed a disgrace to our Ross family, I've come to ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness? Luo Feng glanced at him. In the alien battlefield, people like King Swordplay were like dogs to Luo Feng. He could kill them in one move. Back then he was able to get an emperor-level warrior as a servant. Now that he was even stronger, his vision was even higher. Even the Seven Sword Emperors, Tower Dragon Emperor, these absolute warriors whose names had spread throughout trillions of races, Luo Feng didn't fear them at all. As for this puny little King Swordplay, what kind of thin onion was he? King Swordplay said, "Your Majesty Luo Feng, I've personally come to ask for forgiveness. However, there's one thing I have to make clear." "Speak." Luo Feng was already sitting on the stone stool. "I believe your Majesty is clear. I've been building my family for so long. I've been focused on training. The family's matters aren't up to me at all." King Swordplay said, "Any family almost always has someone in charge. And the true founders of the family all place importance on training, rarely caring about the small matters. Right now the one in charge of my Ross family is my 7th generation grandson, a normal undying with decent strength and management skills." King Swordplay said, "Back then our Ross family and your Majesty's family had a conflict. The conflict grew. The final negotiation team was all arranged by my 7th generation grandson. He hid everything from me." King Swordplay shook his head and sighed, "This time your Majesty's words caused our Ross family to be in a mess. Only then did one of my descendants dare to send me a mail asking me how to resolve it. Only then did I know. I actually offended your Majesty's family. I was shocked back then. That trash actually dared to offend your Majesty's family. Does he want to destroy my Ross family?" I used my God country teleportation to rush back. When I saw my 7th grandson, he smiled strangely when he saw me and self-destructed." King Swordplay said. Luo Feng sat there listening quietly. "Are you done?" Luo Feng looked at him. "Your Majesty, I didn't manage my family properly for such a thing to happen. However, this matter, as a newly appointed undying, I don't have the guts to offend your Majesty." King Swordplay said. "You're innocent?" Luo Feng looked at him. "I'm guilty, but this matter wasn't instigated by me." King Swordplay said, "I know too, there are many other races investigating your Majesty's information. I'm just a little King Swordplay. How would I dare interfere? Even if the other races had spies within us humans, they probably wouldn't bear to use them. Instead, using a normal undying from our Ross family, borrowing our family strength to probe your Majesty's family, this to them is a small price to pay. However, no matter what, I'm guilty. I'm here to ask for forgiveness." King Swordplay flipped his hand and took out a list, respectfully placing it on the stone table. Luo Feng glanced at it. On the list were all sorts of apologies and compensations. It was considered a humble apology. "Umph." Luo Feng snorted coldly and looked at King Swordplay. "Are you done?" King Swordplay was stunned, saying, "Your Majesty, please speak. I don't care what happened within your Ross family, it has nothing to do with me." Luo Feng looked coldly at him. "I only know if your Ross family offends me, don't blame me for not giving you a chance to live. The universe laws give you a chance to live, I'll give you a chance to agree to it, and your life will be spared." Luo Feng casually threw it out. He too threw out a list he had prepared earlier. When King Swordplay heard Luo Feng's words, his face went pale as he glanced at the list. He stared wide-eyed. "Have you read it clearly?" Luo Feng looked at him. Emperor Swordplay's body was huge. Luo Feng was like a small child before him. However, as an absolute warrior from Golden Mist Universe country, he was panicking. Looking at the list, he was stunned. At this time, Emperor Swordplay had no thoughts of resisting, only regret. "I've read it clearly, your Majesty Luo Feng. This." Emperor Swordplay stuttered. There were 3 conditions on the list. First, the entire Ross family's businesses, companies and all assets, 99% of them would be transferred to the Luo family. The remaining 1% would be left to the Ross family. Within half a day, the Ross family would arrange for a team to come to 9-Star Bay to complete the transfer. Second, all the Ross family members involved in this conflict would be sent to the Luo family, allowing them to decide what to do with them. Third, 1 billion mixed elements as compensation. 99% of your family's assets, at least the remaining 1% of your Ross family will be enough for your people to survive. Luo Feng looked at him, "And I'm only asking for the people involved in this conflict. With less of these scum, it's actually better for your Ross family. As for 1 billion mixed elements, to a low-level emperor like you should still be able to take it out. These 3 conditions I've left some leeway, not forcing too much, that's already very benevolent." Luo Feng said. Emperor Swordplay was about to cry. Benevolent? My God. 99% of the family's assets. With this transfer, the huge amount of assets the Ross family had accumulated over countless years would all be gone, leaving only scraps. "Your Majesty Luo Feng, I'm only a low-level emperor undying. Many official pinnacle warriors wouldn't even have 100 million mixed elements even if they went bankrupt. I'm only slightly stronger than them. Even if I sell all my treasures, it would still be hard to gather 1 billion mixed elements." Emperor Swordplay looked anxiously at Luo Feng, begging, "Your Majesty, I'll naturally give it my all, however I really can't take it out." Luo Feng looked coldly at him. Emperor Swordplay was stared at by Luo Feng until he became silent. "Remember," Luo Feng said coldly, "these 3 conditions, if you do all of them, will let this matter go. If you can't, you know the consequences." Emperor Swordplay broke out in cold sweat. Understood. Emperor Swordplay nodded. "Go, I'll give you 7 days to gather 1 billion mixed elements. As for the transfer of the family assets, You'll have to arrange for someone to come to 9-Star Bay within half a day. Luo Feng waved his hand. Yes. Although the Sword Centipede King felt bitter, it could only leave obediently. Luo Feng looked at the Sword Puppet Emperor's seemingly desolate silhouette and laughed coldly within. Having roamed the foreign battlefields for so long, he was very clear on the normal Emperor beginner's wealth. Even though some beginner emperors might not be able to take out 1 billion mixed elements, this Sword Puppet Emperor was Jean Lan's Knight's disciple. To be able to become a Universe Sage's disciple, how could the Universe Sage not give his disciple some weapons and treasures? It should not be difficult to gather 1 billion mixed elements. Virtual Universe, Golden Haze Continent, within a luxurious mansion of the Ross family. In the silent hall, the Sword Centipede King sat alone on the throne in the hall. His face was very gloomy, and he was filled with rage and regret. I shouldn't have been greedy back then and allowed my subordinates to do that. I only received 100 million mixed element units of benefits, but now I have to pay so much. This Luo Feng sure is vicious. This gamble has failed. The Sword Centipede King was filled with hatred within. Back when Luo Feng disappeared, there were rumors that he had fallen. At the start it was just a rumor spreading. Later on, the Luo family's internal movements made people suspect if Luo Feng had truly fallen. To investigate this point, infiltrating the Luo family, planting spies, there were all sorts of methods. There were also powers that used 100 million mixed elements to invite the Ross family to probe the Luo family. After all, the Ross family was controlled by the Sword Centipede Emperor. To have a conflict with the Luo family, how could this be something that the 7th generation grandson could control? Behind the scenes, there was indeed the Sword Centipede Emperor's permission. He didn't dare directly offend Luo Feng. He just acted as a pawn and probed the Luo family. If he could get 100 million mixed elements, why not? If Luo Feng had fallen, the money would have been earned too easily. If Luo Feng hadn't fallen, he wouldn't have lost his life over this. What's more, he didn't show himself from start to finish. It was the 7th generation grandson who was in charge, he just silently allowed it. Family leader. In the shrine, over 100 upper echelon members of the Ross family appeared. They all knelt respectfully, their voices resounding within the shrine. Gazing at his clansmen below, the Sword Centipede Emperor's expression grew uglier. He thought, that Luo Feng is ruthless enough. He's clear that if he forces me too much, I'll flee to my teacher. After all, on the surface it's just a small conflict. He has no way to force my teacher to hand me over. He doesn't dare offend a Universe Knight. Right now he's basically forced me to my very limit. He hasn't killed me, but he's pushed me to my limit. 99% of the family's wealth has been taken away. Seemingly benevolently leaving 1%, I'd rather he take all of the family's wealth than ask for 1 billion mixed elements. Sword Centipede Emperor hated within. A family's greatest wealth was actually the strongest's wealth. Just like how the Luo family's greatest wealth was Luo Feng's. The shrine was silent. Over 100 upper echelon members of the Ross family knelt there. Sword Centipede Emperor gazed coldly below, his killing intent emanating. Quickly organize a team and head to Black Dragon Mountain Island 9-Star Bay to meet the Luo family. We'll hand over 99% of the Ross family's wealth to the Luo family. Sword Centipede Emperor's voice was low. However, it was like a heavy hammer smashing on everyone's chest, causing the upper echelon of the Ross family to be stunned. What? 99%? Why doesn't he just rob? That's too much. The upper echelon of the Ross family immediately panicked. Sword Centipede Emperor roared fiercely, "Shut up." None of them dared make a sound. When we fought with the Luo family before, why didn't any of you stop them? And not even telling me? Sword Centipede Emperor roared below. The upper echelon below all muttered within. Who among them dared to stop them back then? And 2 of them tried to contact Sword Centipede Emperor, but he shut down the virtual universe network at that time. They couldn't contact him at all. Quickly organize a team. Sword Centipede Emperor ordered. Yes. The conflict between the Ross and Luo family had long been noticed by many. When Sword Centipede Emperor gave the order to the upper echelon of the family and roared. Within half an hour, the news had spread from within the Roth family. The Ross family has retreated. Looks like Luo Feng has returned. 99% of the family's assets? It's probably just one of them. Luo Feng sure is ruthless, making the entire Ross family migrate. This is definitely a slap in the face. Sword Centipede Emperor has lost all his face. Haha, this Majesty Luo Feng is really soft-hearted and kind. He actually didn't kill them after returning. If it was me, I would have killed Sword Centipede Emperor. Brother, that Sword Centipede Emperor may very well be with Jinlan Knight. Killing him won't be easy. Head ancestor, this Ross family is the strongest family in our Golden Mist Universe country other than the royal family. It's gone just like that? Their family controls so many starfields and countless planets. It's gone just like that? Right, it's gone. Just like that. Child, remember. The most important thing about a family is the absolute warrior that supports it. Like those middle-level civilizations, they are usually opened by a normal undying. If an undying falls, naturally the country will crumble. And such a super family, even Sword Centipede Emperor has to lower his head, the family naturally has to sacrifice a huge amount of benefits. Head ancestor, looks like business and trade are secondary, the power of the strong is the most important. Right, it's not just within the human race, even between the countless races, it's all about the survival of the fittest. The stronger our human race is, the more treasures we have. And even if the weaker races get their hands on the treasures, they'll be forcefully taken. Hence, child, you have to work hard. One family with 2 absolute warriors, it'll be easier to continue. Yes, had ancestor. Regarding the Ross family in the Golden Mist Universe country, the large amounts of starfields, countless planets, countless companies and assets they controlled were all transferred to the Luo family. On the first day, this matter was known by many of the super families in the universe. As time passed, as the commotion was too great, the empires, families, organizations etc. all knew about it. They too felt the tyranny of the Luo family. They weren't to be trifled with. Dad, I salute you. Dad. Uncle. Within 9-Star Bay, Luo Feng's entire family was gathered together, including his younger brother Luo Hua's wife and children were at the table. Even though Luo Hua only had one wife, he had 9 children. After all, unlike Luo Feng who roamed outside, his younger brother Luo Hua had always stayed at home. After a long time he had more children. The large table was bustling with noise and excitement. Haha. Luo Feng stood up, laughing and accompanying the younger generation to drink. Hua, after so many years, you've even got a few more children. Luo Feng smiled as he looked at the group of youths. Look at how long you've been gone for, 6,000 years. Luo Hua smiled too. Su Xang glanced at Luo Feng too. Luo Feng was speechless. Oh. It was him who didn't spend much time with his wife. However, he was a sector lord. The stronger he got, the harder it was to have children, and Su Xian's body had changed. It would be hard for her to have another child. The family ate happily. Very quickly the children left. Luo Feng and Su Xian were whispering to each other. Su Xian, when I'm not at home, there needs to be a strong warrior in the family. I'm preparing to nurture some undying level plant life forms. Luo Feng said. Su Xian stared at him unhappily. Waiting for you, how long will that take? Didn't you leave the family 50 billion mixed elements before? The family has discussed and taken out a portion. We already have Sector Lord level 9 Cloud Contact Vine and Star Eating Grass, nurturing 3 of them to become undyings. One of them has official level power. Good, good. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. As for the safety of the family, wait till I return from the outer region battlefield. I'll make arrangements. I've stayed at home for a long time. I'll focus on the outer region battlefield matters. Go, your matters are more important. Su Xian said. Luo Feng smiled. This time he had spent a total of 3 days with his family in the virtual universe. It was to make it up to them. As for dealing with Sky Formation Emperor, 6,000 years had passed. 3 more days wouldn't matter. Good, I'll return once I'm done. Luo Feng kissed his wife and smiled, vanishing into thin air, his consciousness leaving the virtual universe.